Hello, everybody, and welcome to the series of conversation. We would be talking about different topics on mom and baby care. These series are brought to you by the brand called R for Rabbit. A quick introduction to myself. I'm Neetu Lekhi, and we're founders of a brand called Mumby. Today, we have a very interesting person with us, Sonali Shivlani. She is one of the leading prenatal experts. She has been in this industry for more than 15 to 20 years at least. And she has trained more than 45,000 mums. I'm going to ask Sonali to quickly introduce herself, and then we can, start a round of series of questions and answers.
Thank you so much, Neetu. It's a real pleasure to be here. And it's great to see brands taking these initiatives to spread awareness about topics that are interesting for parents.
Yeah. Is labor actually as dramatic as what they show in films?
So Bollywood, Hollywood, Tollywood, call it whatever industry. They are obviously in it for the drama. They're in it for the eyeballs. They're in it to kind of, hook the audience. So therefore, they tend to dramatize it. Any serial or movie is maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 2 hours. So if I'm talking about showing a birthing segment in a film like that, I cannot use more than 5 minutes of my screen time, which means I have to finish everything in 5 minutes, right? But labor and birth can actually be between 12 to 24 hours for a first-time mother. Okay. So if I'm going to have 24 hours of the actual birthing journey in a TV series, I would need 2 seasons to show that. So to answer your question, no, it's not as dramatic as it's shown in Bollywood and Hollywood and etc.
Oh, nice. So that's good. But tell me something. In that case, if a mother positively visualizes saying, oh, I want my labor like this, do you think visions and a positive thought process could help for a better labor?
Yes, definitely. So labor, basically, if you were to understand what it is, and I'm going to kind of go a little rewind on this. Why do we get pregnant? What helps us to get pregnant? It's the hormonal changes in a woman's body, which supports the concept of conception. Hormonal changes will support the pregnancy, right? Because technically a fetus is a foreign body in a woman's body. So instinctively, any foreign body needs to be expelled. But the hormones jump in and protect the developing fetus and prevent a miscarriage. After this, labor has to start. So that entire journey that, now the baby is ready and the baby is outstayed its welcome. So let's get labor started. So it's again hormones. Now, if we were to understand what are hormones and how they are played out, they are completely related to our physical and emotional well-being. So when we're talking about the emotional aspect, positivity, the I can, I will attitude is what is going to help a mother cope with labor in a much better way. There are a lot of things that I can say here, but it's also about perception, right? So for somebody, a woman may feel that, okay, I can manage this. And she's able to do it, but somebody else may perceive it as much more intense and therefore kind of does not cope with it. So it is a lot of part of it goes in the mind as well.
Oh, nice. So it's a lot very self-driven.
Very self-driven.
That's why you see that, a lady like who's working at home, or you see them regularly in Bombay trains, etc. They easily give birth. But when we go to more corporate segment, we always find them having these kind of norms that, do you really think that's true?
So I wouldn't compartmentalize based on social strata, so to say, but definitely it is a mindset. So there are people who would, okay, if you ask me as a very personal example, right? For my own self, I know that birth is normal. Birth is natural. So I have to do it. There's no two ways about it, right? So my labor birth process for me was a breeze because my head knew that it needs to be done. It's a normal event. send me to do something which is not a normal event, like bungee jumping, for example. I know it's not normal, and I am so scared about getting into that bungee. So something which is normal, my head perceives it as I can and I will, but something which is not normal, I am scared. So that's the whole perception that needs to change, that birth has to be normalized, which will help women accept the fact that they can and they will.
And if I put it in a short way, it's God who's put me through it, and time when God will take me through it. And
well, absolutely. We are mammals, and the entire population of mammals on Mother Earth is birthing in this fashion. So how abnormal can it be?
Correct.
Half the population of humans is women, and so many of these women are having babies. And then there are so many who are having second babies. So how bad can it be?
Correct. And it's been going on from generations to generations. So that means, can we also say that there is no gain without pain?
Well, again, in this case, maybe no. Because there are women who go through labor so smoothly. My grandmother tells a story of one of her housemates who used to come to work, and she would be doing everything, whether it was sweeping, swabbing, cleaning, etc. And then one fine morning, her daughter would come in and say, Mama is not going to come to work from today because she had a baby. And my grandmother was oblivious to the fact that she was pregnant and then she had the baby. So the whole idea is, it is completely self-driven. Right? This is not a question of an examination where, if you don't sweat it out, you don't study, you're not going to get the marks. In this case, it is how you prepare yourself physically and emotionally, which is going to ensure that your birth treats you right.
So, got it. So tell me something, Sonali, what are the myths or what are the do's and don'ts around labor?
Well, both are two different kind of questions. So I'm going to start with a couple of very common myths that I've heard and experienced or busted with expecting families and their families. First and foremost, a lot of Indian people believe that babies who come in the 7th month would survive better, and babies who are delivered in the 8th month are not going to survive. And as soon as the 9th month starts, it's okay to deliver. Now, very logically, the longer the baby incubates or stays inside, the better it is. So logic says that the 8th month baby should be better. But somehow, in the 8th month, mothers are asked to rest, relax, take it easy, stop all the exercises. I mean, I've seen that happen. They just stop coming for exercise classes, and I don't understand why. And it is because they have been told that no, you can't exercise because now you are at a higher risk for a miscarriage or an abortion. So keeping that in perspective, what happens in the 8th month, the baby takes the position for birth. The baby comes into the head down position, which is the ideal position for a vaginal birth, which is what we want. And the baby needs to move. So the mother can take it a little easy, but she doesn't need to stop all her activities. 9th month starts at week 35. The baby's lungs are still maturing. So you can't celebrate, it's the 9th month, I've had my baby and it's perfectly all right. No, we want the baby to carry to full term, which is between week 37 to week 40. So 9th month delivery is also not the rightest. We want the baby to reach week 37, right? Now, the second most annoying myth that I have also busted many times, and I keep trying to knock this into my mama's heads, having too much of ghee in the 9th month, warm milk with like 2-3 tablespoons of ghee every night is not going to make your vagina a slippery slope, and the baby is not going to just slip out. What it will do is it's going to make you gain a lot of weight, and then that is going to be more detrimental for your overall health and well-being. So these are really common myths that I've seen. As far as do's and don'ts are concerned, pregnancy is normal. I mean, I would really like to say here what my doctor told me, because I was one of those really paranoid parents and I had all sorts of questions for her all those years ago. One fine day, she got fed up of me. And she actually told me, you know what, Sonali, you are pregnant, you're not sick. So do everything that you can with a baby in your arms. So if you think that you can climb stairs holding a 1-day-old baby in your arms, you're good. Please climb stairs. Would you run up and down the stairs with a 1-day-old baby in your arms? No. Do that. So pregnant mamas should do everything that their body is used to, which is normal, which makes them feel normal. The main important thing is that they have to keep themselves positive, they have to keep themselves active, and they have to eat healthy. That's all that is required as far as the do's is concerned.
Nice. So, what is exactly labor, Sonali?
Multiple mothers have asked me this question. I'm 2 babies down, and I still sometimes am at a loss for words as to how do I explain it. So let me give you the medical side of it or the physiological side of it, right? So the baby is living in the uterus. The uterus is an organ which is elastic. It grows to accommodate the growing baby. The uterus also has a mouth, which is called the cervix, and it is long, thick, and tightly closed. It prevents the baby from exiting premature, and it also prevents infections from entering into this lovely sterile environment that is the baby's world. When the baby is ready, hormones come into play and the body starts releasing more oxytocin, which gets the uterus to start contracting. When the uterus contracts, it starts pulling the cervix. When it pulls the cervix first becomes short and paper thin. This process is called effacement. After the cervix is short and paper thin, the cervix is going to start opening. And this process is called dilation. The cervix has to open to 10 centimeters, which is the size of the baby's head. Anything less than that, the baby is not coming out, right? So this entire process of effacement and dilation is what is called my first stage of labor. After this, the uterine contractions continue, but now the focus changes. Now the focus is that they're going to push that baby out. And when they're pushing that baby out, this is called the second stage of labor. So the journey of the baby from inside the uterine world to outside via the birth canal, which is the vagina, is called the second stage of labor. But labor doesn't end here, and contractions start again. And these contractions make the placenta separate from the wall of the uterus, and the placenta also exits. So this entire steps of the uterus opening, the cervix dilating and effacing, the baby exiting, and the placenta exiting is what is labor.
So when the expansion happens, and that induces the pain?
So we'll change the word a little over here.
Fair enough.
Not call it pain. We'll keep it positive and we'll call it discomfort, so to say.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is, it is again perception, right? I will try to give you a little bit of an example. Suppose I were to pinch, right? If I pinch, it's my perception of whether this pinch hurts me or it doesn't hurt me.
Correct.
For somebody, it might be already. And for somebody else, it might be okay, fine, something's tickling me, right? So it's in the mind. So for some women, that initial contraction itself, where the uterus starts kind of, opening the cervix, could be like, oh my God, it's overwhelming pain or discomfort. And for some women, it'll be like, okay, I can cope with this. I'm fine. And they are actually going about a lot of things, doing things, and then suddenly saying, okay, now I think I need to get to the hospital. So it is a perception. But yes, the discomfort can start from the time that the uterus begins its actions to open them out of the uterus.
Okay. So in this entire process, it's all very natural. Does it require any medical intervention or, what kind of support does it require?
Technically, no support is required. I mean, I could deliver at home. I could deliver in the car. I could deliver in the farms. It's been happening, right? Over the generations, especially in India,
Yes,
where we have the traditional birth attendance culture. But very, very typically speaking, if everything is progressing normally, and labor is being allowed to start naturally, there are no interventions required. In some cases where maybe the baby reaches full term, or the baby is too large, or there is some complication in the pregnancy, for whatever reason, if the doctor feels, and it should only be if the doctor feels. So if the doctor feels, the doctor may induce. And here what they do is they give you artificial hormones. The same hormone oxytocin is given in the synthetic form, and it induces the labor contractions. In some cases, if it's a real emergency where, we don't even want to wait, then in that case, the doctor may recommend a surgical birth. In any of the cases, it should not be because, it's a great date or
astrologically
auspicious, or my mother can come at this time, or I want to take leave at this time. It should not be connected to that. It should only be connected to a medical reason to deliver the baby early.
Is the artificial hormone epidural, are they the same?
No, the artificial synthetic hormone is called pitocin.
Okay.
Right? So oxytocin, the synthetic form is pitocin. The epidural that you're talking about is actually an analgesic, which gives you pain relief. So for mothers who are in for a long delivery, where labor is long, labor is uncomfortable, they're finding it difficult to cope, yes, the medical community does recommend taking an epidural because it gives them a lot of relief. And I would also say, yes, go for it if your labor is long and you're really uncomfortable from the word go, then it makes sense. Because at the end of it, you're not exhausted and you're able to kind of, cuddle with your baby, welcome your baby, breastfeed your baby, rather than you're totally exhausted and the baby comes out, all you want to do is like, I'm done. You don't want that kind of a situation, right? So keeping that in perspective, epidural can be selected, chosen, and it's a choice of the parent. It is a recommendation sometimes by the doctor, but eventual choice and decision is the parent's.
So when you say long labor, what does that, how many days or how many hours will that be?
Well, the longest labor that I have been a part of was 5 days.
Wow.
That's the longest.
Was it like a twin baby or just a normal?
No, it was a single pregnancy, but the mother was very keen on certain situations and she did not want any intervention at all. So things progressed well and she was happy with it and the doctors were monitoring her, so it's fine. But if you look at it very medically, from our hospital's perspective, 24 to 36 hours is the norm. We generally would kind of bring in some kind of support to bring that baby out and, stop the entire discomfort that the mother is going through.
And what preparations should a mother do, or rather a parent do, for labor? I mean, does it start from the first trimester itself, or they focus on the last trimester?
So I'm going to throw this back to you as a question. If you had to run a marathon, when would you start preparing?
Well in advance.
Well in advance, months in advance, right? And you would take care of your fitness, you would take care of your, nutrition, you would take care of your flexibility, stamina.
Right.
And if you're really serious about it, you would also be meeting a psychologist to kind of, prep yourself. So there are sports psychologists out there. So from that perspective, God has given us the 9-month period, which is our preparation for the marathon, which is the delivery. And yes, it is a marathon. It's a job, right? It's labor. It's rightly called labor. We're going to really work hard. So keeping that in mind, yes, the entire 9 months should be well utilized, taking care of physical, which is exercise, nutrition, and emotional, which is the I can, I will concept that I keep talking about, is what should be taken care of.
So I think moms can actually make a note somewhere saying, I can, I will, from the first trimester and place it on their walls.
Affirmations work beautifully, right? Like I can, I will, I am healthy, I am going to have a strong baby, I'm going to have a great birth experience. So you put that up everywhere and you keep reading it all the time, and you keep reaffirming it to yourself all the time. It really does help.
What about music?
Music can be helpful.
Any music that you recommend?
It depends on what the mom likes, right? I mean, music is very, very individualistic, isn't it? I mean, I'm a person who likes softer music. I'm a big Bollywood girl. I like to hear a lot of Bollywood. But somebody else may like something else. I mean, a lot of times moms have asked me during pregnancy, I should listen to the Hanuman Chalisa, or I should listen to Mozart or Beethoven, or what should I do? And I'm like, what is it that you like? If you like heavy metal, go for it. Why should you try to stick to a norm?
Correct.
That's not the idea.
Yes. So this brings us to the end of the first round of conversation. We are going to be continuing the same conversation, which is on labor, and there are lots more questions, Sonali. Too much of curiosity. So do stay tuned.
R for Rabbit, the amazing baby company.